had an incredible career in NASCAR. What's one moment that still gives you chills when you think about it?
There's many, so you said one though.
One. You gotta give me one.
Yeah, I gotta get it down to one. It's taking the checkered flag in the Daytona 500 and winning that race. The Daytona 500 is the biggest race in NASCAR and one of the biggest races in the world. And so be able to cross the start finish line and know that you've accomplished something that is historic and will live forever was something that was really special to me.
You know, winning 2001 in Daytona was definitely a career-defining moment. But, you know, there's a lot that happened in that race. How do you reflect on it now?
I believe that we all are on Earth for a certain amount of days, and when it's your turn to leave Earth, you leave.
Yeah.
And that helps me look forward to the day that I leave this Earth and go to heaven and see some of my favorite pizzas.
What made you get into the brewing business?
Well, I had a couple buddies that said, let's go play golf. What kind of beer you want? I said, I don't really like many beers. I like wine. I was kind of like, well, we should make some beers, give it a try. And that's how it all started. That was probably 10 years ago. And we started making a few beers and having a little bit of fun. It's a whole lot like my racing career, you know? You start out with just, you're naive, you're inquisitive, you're curious, you want to know more, you want to do more. And the more you learn, the more immersed you get. And that's what it's been with the beer business. Now we have the tap rooms. Those are fun for me. We have awesome beers that are in distribution. We have great distributors that we're adding every day across the Southeast and most all of the country. You know what it does for me today? It makes me feel like a race car driver. I want to win.
Yeah.
I want to do everything it takes to be the best. Yeah. And we have a stout team that helps us do those things. And I'm just really proud to be a part of it. Yeah. And it's not my name written on the building. It's, you know, I'm a partner. I'm one of the guys that help make the decisions and help pick what beers go where. And I name some of the beers, and I'm involved in every aspect.
What's something about being a NASCAR driver that most fans don't fully understand?
The commitment. Not only back in the day when I did it, there wasn't a lot of data. You know, you didn't have to study all the intricacies of a car, what the shocks did, what the throttle traces did. We didn't have that technology. So we spent a lot of time at a Walmart or a Winn-Dixie or a Kroger, signing autographs, taking care of our sponsors. So our commitment was on-track testing and a whole lot of appearances for our sponsors. But nowadays, the drivers have even more responsibility with studying all the data that is extracted from the cars. It's at their fingertips, and there's a lot of simulation. You know, they can go every day to a simulator in North Carolina and get behind the wheel of the car. Yeah. And that's a lot of work. Maybe fans don't understand is the commitment, how much you have to put into it if you want to get a lot out of it.
If you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
I've learned a lot in my years as a NASCAR racer. I think the thing that I'm most thankful for today, that I lived long enough to be very appreciative and very thankful. You're getting to do what you love, and it's a blessing.
Now, if you were to take a driver for a Cup Series collab with you and the brewery, who are the drivers?
There's a lot of guys that are my buddies. I like to golf with them. Yeah. And we collab a lot on the golf course, and we talk a lot about racing. But you know, I have a lot of energy and love for Kyle Larson. He's done so much, and he's not only racing on Sunday, but he's probably gonna be somewhere on Wednesday in a dirt car racing again. And you know, the grassroots fans get to go see the guy that they cheer for on Sunday. He likes a beer every now and then. He's not the biggest beer drinker in the garage area, but I'm pretty sure sharing a beer with Kyle and his wife, she's shotgunned a few of my Michael Waltrip beers before. It's fun to do that with her. So those two, the Larsons, they would be the ones I want to collaborate with and just enjoy some beers with.
Drivers have lost their personality as compared to the predecessors, right? So it's like, having witnessed the golden age of NASCAR, how do you feel about kind of the dying breed of like more expressive drivers?
Well, Denny Hamlin does a good job of expressing himself. And by the way, he's never been wrong. And he's going to tell you what you don't know. Yeah. And explain to you why you don't know it. He has this motto, number 11 against the world, because, you know, he's like, I'm right. Yeah. And you guys just listen and you'll learn something.
I got to ask about Denny, since you brought up Denny. So we saw Michael Jordan and Denny have a lawsuit against NASCAR. What do you think about the policies?
So I think it's a very big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal between the Front Row Motorsports and 2311 and NASCAR.
Yeah.
But to me, and I think to many of the race fans, it's white noise. You know, they'll figure that out. There's gonna be fans in the grandstands every Sunday, and it ain't gonna end NASCAR, and it's not gonna end the team model. So to me, as far as enjoying a weekend of racing, it has nothing to do with it for me.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what's one rule you wish NASCAR would bring out?
I think that's a trick question because they just keep adding rules.
Yeah.
I think they've kept every old rule they ever had and just bring in more.
Would you remove one?
I don't know. I think making the rules is a collaboration between the teams and NASCAR.
Yeah.
So if there's a rule that gets implemented, it's from necessity. And a good example of that is it used to be the chase for the championship.
Yeah. Who's the one young talent that reminds you of yourself?
I like Austin Center. I think he's a really cool cat. Plus he plays the tuba and wears a bow tie. So just be different, you know?
Yeah. What role did Dale Waltrip play in shaping your early career, and how did your relationship evolve?
My brother was my inspiration. You know, I was 16 years old, younger than him. So when I was born, he was already off and racing. And so he didn't have a lot of time for his little brother because he was trying to make his way in NASCAR. And I was like 5 years old when I go to the races. But he inspired me. He was everything to me.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get behind the wheel of a car when I was 5 because it just didn't happen back there. But I watched and I learned. And when I did get behind the wheel of my go-kart at 12, I felt like I knew what to do because I'd seen my brother do it.
Yeah.
And he was always my mentor, even if it was from a distance, because I didn't miss a thing he did.
So this picture, so what they want you to see the picture and tell us the story behind the image.
While me and my brother, we weren't all that close. When I was a kid, I became really good friends with Dale Earnhardt. And I think Dale and Daryl were such rivals. Dale would see me on racing and he'd say, Dale wanted to help me, maybe because they were such rivals and Daryl didn't. So Dale said, I will.
Yeah.
And so that picture is from 1988. I was a cup driver, but I wanted to run on Saturday in the Busch races. And that was Dale's Busch card. And he let me drive it.
2001 Daytona returns.
What a night. I don't know. I just wasn't 100% into it.
Yeah.
And it was difficult. I told my family I'm going to Daytona and win that race. We battled hard that night and took the checker flag in second. And, you know, even though I didn't win, it's still one of my favorite races in my career. And the celebration, it was wild because the stands were packed back to the start finish line for the victory celebration after Dale Jr. won and I got second. I've never heard this before, but I could hear the fans cheering over the sound of my engine. It was that loud. So that was a really special night for me and Dale Jr. And I think it helped a whole lot of people, you know, that love Dale. It helped them deal with it more.
This is Robbie Corden. So
Yeah.
elevator shoot. What's going on there?
Well, we were racing hard and Robbie kind of ran me up the racetrack and it made me mad. And so as we came off the corner after he used me up, I crashed him. And so he got, rightfully so, he was pissed because he owned his car. Yeah. And it was his money that I just wrecked. And I was wrong. I shouldn't have reacted like I did because while he used me up, he didn't wreck me. And then I got really mad and I wrecked him. And so he threw his helmet at me. That was my fault.
Your all-star win in 906.
Yeah, the All-Star win in 96 was special because I drove for the Wood Brothers and they were legendary car owners at that time and still are today.
Yeah.
The one I won for them didn't officially count because it was an all-star race. I got a really cool trophy. I don't know right where it is right now.
Yeah.
But in the official stats of NASCAR, it didn't count. I think a lot of people don't know this, but Dale Earnhardt was really instrumental in getting me that opportunity.
Yeah.
He told the Wood Brothers if I got
Taco spill at Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, I kind of just got drafted into it. You know, go do this, Mike. And that's probably at least 10 years ago, maybe longer. And so in my defense, we always try to be fun and have a good time and make it impromptu and light. And in that situation, there's a taco joint in the infield of Texas. And they gave me some tacos and said, promote the taco. So I'm like, all right. So I had me a little satchel and I had my tacos in there, and I went to Denny, and I'm like, would you like a taco? And so the meat and cheese just fell right out onto Denny's car. And he's like, what the hell? And this is part of that story that you don't know. Wow, that was very accidental, and I was embarrassed a little bit by it. I was gonna ride home with Denny that afternoon.
Yeah.
I said on TV, can I still get a ride home? And he said, he just shook his head.